Hey everyone, Blaze here. Welcome back to another Discotek panel overview video where we'll be going over the latest announcements from everyone's favorite, I swear everyone's favorite at this point, anime releaser in the West, label, publisher, whatever. Discotek. This was a different panel though, not quite as crazy as the other ones. It was quite clear that due to this megaton announcement and what it actually turned out being, that they didn't really have a panel on the cards, but they had to talk about an update to a certain title that they were going to be releasing, and they built a panel around it. So there's way less license announcements. I think there was 6 really in total, like 6 home video announcements and then 1 streaming announcement, which will probably be home video eventually. So 7 announcements in total really, plus the Megaton one. That makes it 8, the update. um this is a pretty cool panel for the most part. Like there's like I said, the Megaton announcement was perhaps a bit naughty the way they teased that. Wasn't clear at all, but that was just going to end up being a pretty incredible update for a title that they are on have on the cards to be released. But yeah, a lot of people were obviously, including myself, getting kind of hyped about what major title that could end up being. I think I kind of settled on maybe stupidly in retrospect, maybe, I don't know, kind of. I settled on it potentially maybe being Future Boy Conan, because I feel like that's one of the last holy grails, like truly holy grails, like a title that is huge and that most people who know anything about anime know about, and it's just never come out in English for some reason. It's not even seemingly had a sniff at coming out in English, but it is currently being restored in 4K and is, I think, coming out in Italy on Blu-ray via that 4K scan relatively soon. Although I think Italy and France have had it out before. I don't really understand what the issue is with it coming out in English. But anyway, regardless, it wasn't announced. That was my prediction based on something that I consider to be truly megaton. And the Megaton announcement, as we'll get to, is very, very cool. And I'm very happy about it and excited about it. But yeah, maybe the way they teased it was kind of misleading, but that's not the end of the world. Not even close. So anyway, yeah, so this panel, a bit smaller, as I said, a few less titles announced, but yeah, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so let's just quickly go through this stuff. So yeah, hi there, we're Discotek. It's our third standalone panel. I love how Mike Toole changes up the slideshow every single time in the way it's presented. He has a different style every time. This one's meant to mimic like Apple II, like slideshow like presentations from like the 90s or something, which is not here is it. Is just the reason this presentation looks like an Apple computer ad for 1998 and reads like a soda ad for 1994. I don't know, I just really like the way these look, these panels, the way he does them. They're very cool and they're definitely appreciated. So yeah, Brady Hartel, Distance Vegas, Mike Toole as usual. What is Discotek Media? Discotek Media is a boutique home video publisher specializing in Japanese anime or animation. That is all. Okay, so first announcement, one of the more major ones for sure. They played weirdly the same trailer announcement like trailers they do from the last panel. That was the first thing they played, and then it was immediately followed up by a full trailer for Dear Brother, which is coming to Blu-ray, which is pretty cool. This is an Osamu Dezaki shoujo drama from 1993 or 2. I forget which year. It's around there. Yeah, a 39 episode series, and yeah, based on Ryoko Ikeda's other shoujo manga masterpiece, because Rose of Versailles was just not dramatic enough, damn it. So yeah, based on another manga from the same person who made Rose of Versailles, which of course is also coming from Blu-ray from Discotek. Pay attention to this next part, it is important. Our licensing period for this series is shorter than usual, and we're not sure we'll be able to renew the license later. So what does that mean? It means if you want Dear Brother, don't wait. Pre-order or buy soon after its release. Don't worry, we'll make it worth your while. Release date and other details to be announced. So yeah, I mean, that sounds like, oh my god, it's gonna be super short. I think Justin kind of hinted that it's gonna be like a 2-year period, and presumably So yeah, like, but obviously with the way that Discotek titles tend to get released and printed, you're better off trying to get in early. I will definitely be pre-ordering this one and hopefully getting it sooner rather than later. I definitely don't want to miss out on this one. The whole FOMO thing. This is I don't want to miss out on this title again because, and this is a shout out to a fellow anime nut, big on anime here, who was one of the crazy people. I never got any of these because being in the UK, it just wasn't feasible. Really, it was way too expensive. Although I do regret it to some degree. But yeah, that feel when you're one of the only a handful of people to own all of the Anime Souls DVDs. Dear Brother Set Free, if I recall correctly, was reported to be only 500 units. So yeah, Anime Souls, if you remember that streaming service that was also, you could I can't remember, like Kickstart, essentially, like crowdfund physical releases for. So like they would stream the episodes, translate the episodes. You could crowdfund to have more episodes translated, and then also you could crowdfund to do physical releases. This was all they managed to do, which was half of the original Blackjack 2004 series, all of Creamy Mammy, which is pretty cool. These are the ones that I kind of regret not getting, and then Dear Brother as well, all 3 box sets for 39 episodes. So yeah, very big on anime here. Very very fortunate to have these titles. He's a very cool guy. Works on Blu-ray.com. Doesn't work for them, but does a lot of anime database entries that I was doing, and he came in and kind of just went crazy, like doing it about 1,000 times faster than I was, which is super appreciated. Getting all of anime releases on Blu-ray.com's database. I'll leave a link in the description to his Twitter and stuff. So yeah, Dear Brother, very very cool announcement. Definitely one of the more major ones, one of two, other than the Megaton update thing. Yeah, very cool to be getting this. I'm not overly surprised. I'm pretty darn sure this is a TMS Entertainment series as well, so it kind of felt like a matter of when rather than if. Although being as I'm pretty darn sure it's TMS Entertainment, and if it is kind of surprising that obviously the license is shorter. I'm not really sure why that would be the case, but yeah. Another surprising thing actually that Justin Saveka said he didn't even realize when he got the masters for this after they'd already done the license. He didn't realize this had even got a HD transfer, which is funny. Like as someone who follows, at least well for me anyway, like someone who follows like the fan subbing thing and all that, which I assume like a lot of these more bigger like anime like Mike Tool and stuff, like they won't publicly say it overly much, but I mean come on, like if you like old anime and just classic anime, you follow the fan subbing stuff, and yeah, this has obviously been fan subbed in the past and had been updated for the HD Blu-ray that came out in Japan. So yeah, I wasn't surprised that this is going to have a proper Blu-ray, and I'm very happy it does. I love this cover. I love the coloring on it. It's great. I don't know how much I'll actually like this series, if I'm honest. It like the trailers for it, and it's always just kind of looked so over the top shoujo, like shoujo melodrama. I'm not sure how much I'll enjoy it, but I'm certainly wanting to give it a try. So yeah, that's that. Honestly, this and the other announcement at the end and the Megaton announcement update thing are kind of cool. The rest of the stuff they announced was kind of so-so. Like, it's really just middling stuff, but we'll go for it. Probably a bit quicker, hopefully, this time. So, yeah, next up we got a rescue announcement. We've got Kashimashi Girl Meets Girl, a series previously put out by Media Blasters. This is going to be an upscale. I don't believe they talked overly much about the quality, but again, like presumably with these SD upscales that they're doing, that they only do them if the master tapes are in nice clean condition. And yeah, so I assume this will look fine. There's not one I plan to be purchasing. It's not a series I'm too fussed about, but yeah, includes the English dub version from the Prime Media Blasters release and all its bonus features. Newly revised subtitles, which are much more careful about gender and pronouns. And oh yeah, did you know that Kashimashi Girl Meets Girl is a crossover among Colle Knights? It's true, kinda. It was kind of, kinda. I didn't actually end up copying all that stuff. It was just something to do with like a female seiyuu or voice actress or whatever having a kind of like this weird connection. You could look up on Twitter. It's not like the most amazing revelation in the world, but it's kind of neat. But I didn't bother to do the slides and explain it. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Kashimachi Go meets Go. Cool, but not something I'm crazy about. I don't remember if this got a normal compact complete collection release from Media Blasters. If it didn't, that would be a cool update for this series at least. So it's going to get a compact version. It probably did get a compact release from Media Blasters. They were pretty good with that. But anyway, whatever. This series, not overly fussed about it. It's coming out though for those who do care, which is cool. Anyway, and yeah, speaking of Moncode Nights, basically, I think they would still just. Oh yeah, they got all the extras on the Japanese DVDs with tons of interviews, commercials, promotional clips, etc. But they're still struggling to find the English dubs, but they have a very strong lead, so they're quite hopeful they'll be able to find the English dub and do an English dub version. But for now, the Japanese version's coming out relatively soon, I believe. Yeah, May. Yeah, comes out in May, so a couple of months from now, you'll be able to get the Japanese version. Definitely interested in this series. It sounds pretty cool, and it's not overly long. Well, 51 episodes, but you know, it's not like 150 or something, which some shows like this can be sometimes. So yeah, somewhat interested in this series, but it's definitely not something I'm planning to get on pre-order or anything, but something I might pick up in the future. Ninja Senshi Tobikage or Ninja Robots is still talking about the dubs. This wasn't really much of an update. It was more just another plea, I'm pretty sure, because I don't think because they said that they're still missing 7 episodes. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was pretty much the same number they were missing last time. But yeah, they're still missing episodes of the dub. They did talk about how they would definitely include all the episodes they have if they end up giving up on their attempts to get the rest of the series dubbed. They had like a somewhat of a new lead sort of thing, like a new avenue that might turn up fruitful in terms of finding these episodes and maybe better quality versions of some of the dubbed episodes they have already. But yeah, that's not really much else to say. Like, yeah, that was just a call out for people. I can't really remember. I'm quite surprised they haven't put it here. There was like not that I would be any help, but yeah, there was a company. I think it was like Latin America or something. The series may have got the English dub version airing on like the English channels or something. I can't quite remember. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Memories update. Again. Is there anything really new here? Obviously, we know the English version. I think, oh yeah, Justin Sudeikis literally announced on the panel that on the live stream that the Memories has gone gold and it's coming out pretty soon. And there is a release date for it, as I'll show you in a minute. I think it's in June. But yeah, so they did the obviously premiere for the dub a couple of weeks ago on their Twitch channel. I didn't watch it, but I want to wait until I get the Blu-ray and watch it that way. But yeah, so both English and Japanese language. They did show a trailer, the English trailer, which looked really, really cool. I'm very excited for this. I'm very much looking forward to rewatching it and seeing it with an English dub for the first time would be cool. This is kind of neat via the miracle or seamless branching. Both the original untouched version and the Astro Res restored version of the film would be included. If you remember, there was a scene that was done digitally in magnetic rose, which didn't really look particularly good. But it's kind of so they used Astro Res to try and clean it up and kind of make it match better with the HD film elements for the rest of the film. And that's cool, but it's also cool. I think that you know they're going to give you the original untouched version if you like. I mean, it's only I think like a couple of minutes of footage at most, so it's kind of cool that they're giving you the option to presumably before you start watching pick one or the other, and it will just seamlessly put that version in while you're watching. There should be laws against dismony bonus features. Let's take a look. So let's have a very, very quick look at this. So yes, we've got they got like multiple galleries. I think they said each episode, like each part of Memories, there's 3 parts overall. There's Magnetic Rose, Stink Bomb, and Cannon Fodder, and I think each one's going to have its own gallery, which is really cool. So we've got like a movie poster, and we've got the laser disc some art from the Japanese Laserdisc, which looks amazing. And then just got, some character stuff, not even pre-storyboard stuff, character design stuff again for Stink Bomb here. So yeah, that's cool. And then gonna have tons of liner notes. I think, yeah, liner notes episode 1. So yeah, this has got 11 pages of liner notes just for the Magnetic Rose, which is crazy. So I look forward to giving a read through those. It's very cool. Then we got the this was the booklet that was in the Japanese Blu-ray release. They've done a proper full translation, even not just translating it, but like completely redoing it in English, which is kind of cool. It won't be included as a booklet in the actual set, but it will be on the disc, which I know some people find disappointing. Personally, I find it just fine. Like, I don't have any problem I'm not going to be constantly reading this thing over and over and over again. It'll be something that I read as and when I watch the movie, probably. Or obviously, so I don't mind it being on the disc. I haven't had any issues reading it on the disc. When it's on DVD, liner notes are kind of hard to read, but on Blu-ray it's fine. 1080p on the. I've only got a 32-inch TV. I say only. I feel like it's massive, but to most people it'd probably be tiny these days. But yeah, I don't have any problem reading stuff on TVs. So yeah, so that's the update on Memories. So yeah, full Memory special preview video, Japanese production report, theatrical trailer, Discotek trailers, AstroRes restoration comparison, which is kind of cool. Conversations about the dub, which is also kind of cool. Earlier it was seen at the premiere. Huge art gallery, copious liner notes, storyboard for the entire episode of Cannon Fodder. When they first showed that on the stream, they showed what it would look like, showing the storyboard and the actual film itself at the same time. I actually did think that it was going to be for everything until obviously we saw this, so it's only for Cannon Fodder. Yeah, and then we got dub outtakes, which I'm curious. I feel like there might be some fun dub outtakes for Stink Bomb. Anyway, so yeah, Memories will be released in June 2021, so that's cool. That's the only thing they've announced for June. They do tease some summer stuff later on. Anyway, then we got another new announcement, a very small one, but interesting. We got Nyambo, which is a CG series about cube cats that kind of look like they're made out of cardboard. 24 5-minute episodes, sub only, coming to Blu-ray. One of those things you kind of see on Crunchyroll from time to time. There's another one that's very similar to this that they announced later on that I actually have seen. Not seen this one though. This is interesting that not only adorable, but the beloved Yotsuba makes an appearance. Yotsuba, obviously from the famous manga, which has never got an anime for some reason. Obviously the mangaka that created Yotsuba also created Azumanga Daioh. So yeah, this is technically, I guess, the only time that Yotsuba's ever been in an actual anime. Presumably, I don't know, but I'm presuming that's the case. So anyway, yeah, not something I plan to pre-order, but something I might get in the future because I love cats, and cute cat shows aren't the worst thing in the world, although they're not necessarily the thing that I kind of want to fill my shelves up with. But the way that Discotek are going about it kind of makes me want to get them all, which is dangerous. But yeah. Okay, and then we got more updates. Kind of what this panel was kind of all about was updates and the odd little license announcement that they wouldn't normally say for a panel, I suspect. But anyway, Grimm's Fairy Tales, how about it? Our prior efforts had unearthed most of the English dub episodes, but not all of them. That surprised me. I could have sworn it said that they did, but I must have missed that last time. So yeah, some dubbed episodes didn't appear to be recoverable, but then we managed to recover them. Good old Discotek. They had some pneumatic tapes where the video quality was shit. That's basically how they described it, even though that's not how this slide describes it. But the audio on them was pristine. Like, that's kind of what those tapes were somewhat for. Anyway, and that isn't all. There are alternate versions of multiple episodes, including one with differing levels of on-screen violence and one with a totally different narrator, which is kind of interesting. They said one, like most of the time, I think they said it was some British-sounding dude, and then one of them had someone, and it was like an Australian lady as a narrator, so they're going to try and include all that. And they said that originally this was just kind of a hey, do you remember this from your childhood? Not my childhood, but like, you know, other people's childhoods in this case. But like, do you remember this show? Like, we're bringing it back. Isn't that cool? But as they went about it, they kind of just kept making these newer and newer discoveries, and they've ended up making this basically ultimate edition of this show without actually having obviously film elements to work from. This is the best that this show is probably ever going to look, and also the best that this show, in terms of archival quality, or in terms of the amount of stuff they're able to get on these discs, is quite impressive. So yeah, yeah, it has it. In fact, they say it here. This was a silly cartoon we all watched on Nickelodeon, but this release is really turning into something special. Needless to say, your childhood is very important to us. There was something else. Oh, that was it. I remember saying that I was somewhat surprised. I can't remember if I figured this out for myself on the last panel, but I remember saying I was somewhat surprised that this was being split into season sets. But obviously the main reason for that is that it'll have both the original Japanese versions and the English dubbed versions, and those will be separated on the disc, so you can watch it Japanese with Japanese subtitles, and the episodes will be completely different, kind of like they did Sherlock Hound. Like the dub wouldn't sync up to the Japanese version. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what's going on with this release. So that's why that, even though this isn't a ton of episodes, it's only 24 episodes, it's more like 48 because, or something to that degree anyway, because it's got the Japanese version and the English version. So 24 episodes, but a hell of a lot more is actually on the disc. So that makes more sense. Anyway, right, and then we got another somewhat minor announcement, something that wouldn't necessarily always be held for a panel, but since they were probably trying to find stuff to talk about at this point, we got Magical Girl Ore is coming to Blu-ray. This is a series from like a couple of years ago, I think. Pretty recent, about this. It's a Magical Girl series, comedy, where when the girl transforms, she turns into this basically kind of buff-looking muscle dude, rather than the usual Magical Girl transformation. So it's kind of funny. So yeah, 12 episodes of magical transforming fun from Studio Pero. The Ore is particularly rough, a masculine form of the first person singular pronoun I or me. It does not refer to metal. In Japanese English subtitles, other details are to be announced. Note, episode 5 had so many signed subtitles that it blew up the authoring software. So yeah, Magical Girl Ore, not something I'm like necessarily psyched about. But I don't know. I'd have to watch this series before ever considering to buy the Blu-ray. Like it has the potential to be really funny. So yeah, I'm not like adverse to picking this up, but it's not on my radar at the moment. Okay then, special announcement regarding our release of Project A-ko. Basically, the second this slide came up, I knew exactly what the announcement was going to be, and I was super surprised, given everything that we had presumably knew about this all this time. But yeah, the Project A-ko Blu-ray set, featuring a revolutionary new upscale by the miraculous AstroRes system, has been cancelled. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if they touch on this again, so I'll just touch on it now. But like, they put in a shit ton of work already into that, like a lot. Like, they've been talking about it. That Brady Hartel had shared parts of the process they were going through on Twitter about de-interlacing it and all this sort of stuff, and going through and cleaning up the video, and it was kind of crazy. But obviously, please do not worry, this is actually good news. Why? Because if it wasn't obvious at this point, they found the original 35mm film elements for Project A-ko and will be using them for our Blu-ray release instead. Boom. That's crazy. Like, that's actually crazy. Like, this is a really, really cool update. Like, the Megaton thing, the way they teased it, sort of naughty, like, sort of misleading. But that doesn't detract from the fact that this is actually really cool. I'm going to show you the differences, as if they weren't already apparent if you watch the trailer and the stream and stuff. There is a trailer. We'll get to that in a second, I guess. But yeah, this is really, really cool. Did they get into? They do get into that later, don't they? I think so. Yeah. Would you like to see a sample clip? Yes, you would. So yeah. There's a 1080p clip. It's actually in 4K. Interestingly enough, like if you want to really get the proper quality, there is a 4K version of it on YouTube. I don't know if they've upscaled the 1080p version to 4K for YouTube to try and fully show how good it is. Because obviously YouTube still has compression stuff, so even that 1080p is still not going to represent what a Blu-ray would actually look like. But if they have the original film elements, like at the moment they're only saying Blu-ray. There is a real possibility they could do a 4K release. Like they have the film elements. Presumably they would definitely do their transfer from those film elements in 4K at this point. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, there's no reason not to. And you can downscale it for Blu-ray and then maybe do a 4K in the future. Like, it's very interesting, very very interesting. But I decided to have a bit of fun, right? Rather than just show you this and you look at this and go, wow, that looks really, really cool. I want to show you exactly how freaking insane this is. Like, obviously Astro Res was like miracle magic and it looked pretty good, but it would never look as good as what this looks like. And that's the kind of the other crazy thing that they talked about that. The last time they talked about Project Echo, they said, this is the best it could possibly look. I remember talking about it myself. This is the best it could possibly ever look. Unless they found the 35mm film print, unless they found the film print, the film negatives, the original negatives, and they did. So, yeah, this is my DVD. The screenshots I'm about to show you were taken from my DVD. This is the original, or like second release of Project Keiko from Central Park Media. This isn't the Discotek version. I don't have the Discotek version. I have this one from Central Park Media. I don't know if the video quality is different. I assume the Discotek version might look ever so slightly better, but maybe not. I doubt very dramatically at all. Like, just because what masters they had was what they had. But I have this version still because it has the soundtrack with it. So yeah, this is my DVD. This is the first very 000 on the 4K version on YouTube, right? So Central Park Media DVD. Again, the sizes are going to be different, but as you can see, this doesn't look very good. It's kind of a blurry mess. This is what Project Echo looks like on DVD. At least this is what my DVD looks like, and it's the one that a lot of people own. Again, I don't know exactly what the Discotek version looks like, but yeah, this is what this one looks like. This is what a lot of Laserdisc to DVD stuff kind of looks like. It can look a lot better, but a lot of the stuff from this era, like the early 2000s and like the late 90s on DVD of these OVAs, these are kind of what they look like. Kind of what they look like is kind of shit, but it's what we had. It's what is available or was available. But man, oh man. So yeah, Central Park Media DVD, fucking 35mm film print. Holy shit, guys. Holy shit. Sorry for the swearing, but oh my god. The difference, I don't know if it's exact. I've tried to do this as exact as possible. It's not quite exact because there's like little flame bits here, as you can see that on here. But yeah, it's pretty much exact. Like a few frames out or something. But yeah, like holy shit. The difference is just insane. Yeah, this one's a couple of frames ahead. But man, that's just look at the oh my god. I love film prints. Oh boy, and from Discotek, they're not going to DNR any of this. It's going to have all the film grain intact. It's going to look gorgeous, especially 35mm. Like 35mm looks insane for anime. Like it really does. This looks incredible. It is so cool. Like this is so cool to just the fact that this was just sat in a lab in Japan, and due to some freaking error in I can't remember exactly what, but they couldn't find it. It was just presumed lost, even though it was sat in the exact laboratory where they said this is where it should be, but we can't find it. I guess we don't have it anymore. It was there the whole time, as we'll get into in a minute. But freaking hell, man, just makes you wonder what else is in that bloody laboratory. But what is in there? Like holy shit! Like this is presumed lost for when did Project Echo come out? Like 1986? Yeah, 1986. This came out. So this is 35 years old, basically. If we, obviously we've only just started 2021, but this is basically 35 years old. And for 35 years, or let's round it down, for about 30 years, the film print was presumed effectively as being lost. Like, just no one knew where it was. And it was just sat there all this time. And thank God it's been found, because holy hell. Let's have another go. I've done one more. So, yeah. Again, Central Park Media DVD. Poor Central Park Media DVDs. So many Central Park Media DVDs look like this. It's just the way it was. But yeah. Yeah, so that's that. And then, boom! Just like, what the... Oh my god. Holy crap. It's just, anime can look so fucking good on Blu-ray. And this may be even 4K, because wow. Just wow, guys. Like, I can make this bigger, can't I? Scale to width, scale to height, scale to fit. Yeah, there we go. Like, holy crap. Oh my god, just everything. Like the color, again, the color is what I remember talking about that before. Like the color just changes dramatically because all of a sudden, like, man, the detail in this is gonna insane. This is gonna look insane. And I don't necessarily have the reverence that a lot of people have for Project Eiko because I'm not that old. Like I am old, but I wasn't around. Like I'm not like 10 years older than I am, or like 10 to 15 and 20 years older than I am. Like I'm 33 now. Like I feel like a lot of the people that have the true reverence for it are the people that and plus I'm not American. That's the other major thing. I got into anime in like 2008. I like really like old stuff, and that's mainly because I grew up and didn't really stop watching old classic cartoon stuff. So when I got to anime, like I still gravitated towards older anime a lot. So even though I'm a relatively modern fan, I guess to some degree, I still gravitate towards older stuff a lot, just by virtue of growing up on this type of cell animation, and just seeing this stuff, it's just insane. And again, it just makes me wonder what else is in that freaking laboratory. Like I know, obviously this is something I haven't prepared to talk about because it's not Discotek, but Animego are doing Madoc's Metal Skin Panic, which does not have a Blu-ray in Japan. Presumably, in fact, that actually does go quite nicely into this. We'll go back to that, yeah. Otherwise, it looks blurry. I know it's smaller, but it looks blurry otherwise. So, Animego doing Metal Skin Panic, and that's not had a Blu-ray in Japan. Like Robert Woodhead has gone and got a freaking canister film print for that as well, film master for that, found that in Japan and is like doing the update for that. He did it for Gunsmith Cats, and he found Project Eiko for Discotek. For many years the film master for Project Eiko has been carefully stored in the same film lab vault where it had turned up missing. A clerical error was preventing searchers from locating it. A regular customer of the vault noticed this error and realized it was likely preventing Project Eiko from being found. They tipped us off. That customer's name was Robert Woodhead, who's obviously the CEO, like freaking owner, founder of Animego, the first ever proper anime company in America, like the first distributor of like anime being sold as anime, and a really really cool guy. I love Robert Woodhead a lot. I think he's very cool. So yeah, yes, that Robert Woodhead. Thanks, Robert. The revolutionary AstroRes upscale has been shelved in favor of a brand new HD transfer. Presumably, obviously, AstroRes will be used at some point. But yeah, I feel sad for the people behind AstroRes because everyone's been really super excited about that. But obviously, I'm sure those same people at AstroRes are very excited for this. And again, oh my god, what else is in that freaking film lab? It really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder. Like, there are some awesome OVAs throughout history, and it just makes me wonder what else is in that freaking lab just being stored and not being either found or not, companies maybe just not getting access to it or stuff, So many amazing, like Area 88, is that in there? Is Madball 34 something like film prints just sat in a freaking lab somewhere? I'm guessing probably not. But what if they were? And what if you could have 35mm freaking, like, this being found just honestly gets the brain dreaming about the endless possibilities of what could be just sat in a laboratory in Japan somewhere, in a film lab, just waiting to be found. Because it really makes you wonder, because like I said, Madox from Animego and Gunsmith Cats, both of those don't have Blu-rays in Japan. Like, so, you know, the only way to get those in HD is through Animego, and that's really cool. And it also makes you realize that just because film prints exist doesn't mean that Japan have done anything with them, is kind of my point. Like, so just because something doesn't have a film print release, or Blu-ray release, sorry, in Japan, and there seems to be no sign of that happening, doesn't mean it can't happen. It doesn't mean they don't exist somewhere. So that's very cool. But obviously you kind of have to be, well, not kind of, you have to be a real insider and industry kind of legend, like Robert Woodhead, and like a lot of Justin Savakis, who's been around forever and things like that. You have to really know your stuff and have your contacts to be even able to, you know, find that stuff out and know about it. But yeah, it's very exciting to me. And I'm very excited for this release. Previously announced bonus features for the first movie will still be included, but other release details may change. I did quickly mention Astro Res and how it's kind of disappointing for Astro Res in a way. Like I said, I'm sure they were excited to show their tech. I'm sure Discotek will use it on something else. A lot of people were excited about it, but yeah, you can't replace a 35mm film print. That's for darn sure, because holy shit, look at that. Okay, oh Christ, there was still more Project Echo stuff. They're going to do a new cover. Marielle Kanuku Cartwright, I'm sure I completely butchered that. Someone who worked on Skullgirls and Indivisible, and a friend of Brady Hartel, who obviously primarily works in the video game business, doing artwork and stuff. They're going to do a new cover in the style of like the old. It's not gonna completely look dramatically out of place or anything. They're just going to redesign it like they did for Kimaguri Orange Road, and those look great. Redraw it. They said they did it for Magic Ray Earth as well and stuff. Not uncommon. Brady Hartel's talked about it before, and yeah, this is basically the very, you know, one of the more early promos or whatever. You know what I mean? Drafts. That's the right word. Okay, so yeah, that was the Megaton announcement. There's like one more major announcement I'm excited about, and I can't believe I've managed to drag this video out as long as I have. I'm sure it's way longer than I ever anticipated, but as always, even with fewer announcements, probably a bunch of stuff I didn't need to talk about like this. But hey, Rose of Versailles is coming. I think it literally comes out in April or something. Yeah, April 27th. So I might pre-order this. I didn't have it on pre-order at the moment because Irresponsible Captain Tyler's Ultimate Edition was coming out, and that thing's really expensive. But that got delayed by a couple of months, so I might end up going in on Rose of Versailles early. I would like to get the Blu-ray sooner rather than later. I've had the DVDs since they come out, the limited edition DVDs, and I've never fucking watched them. It's like really a black mark against me, you know. There's some things I just never get around to, or I want to get around to, I just don't for whatever reason. This was this one series that I never did, though in part that was because, you know, I knew there was a HD Blu-ray version, or at least a Blu-ray version that eventually came out in Japan like a couple of years maybe after I'd had the DVDs. I still not watched them, and obviously TMS Entertainment series, Discotek, blah blah blah. So anyway, yeah, the first set will contain episodes 1 to 20 in Japanese, prologue to episode 1, opening and endings, blah blah blah. They're changing their slip covers, but man, the artwork on this, just wow, look at that. That looks absolutely gorgeous. It really does. That is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen for an anime. I'm not really hot on the whole Lady Oscar thing, but they didn't have a choice. I don't know why it was being forced on them when Right Stuff didn't have to deal with it, but whatever, it doesn't matter really. It's not the end of the world. It still says the Rose of Versailles. They said that was a compromise that they were able to agree on, so that's cool. So yeah, then we got the disc art and the inside wrap. These images are both on the Right Stuff releases, I'm pretty sure, which I still have and will probably keep at this point, just as like collector pieces, like show pieces or whatever. Not that I really have space to do that, but I will do it anyway. Okay, so this is really the major change. I'm kind of okay with this and kind of not. I don't know. It's one of those things I wasn't really too fussed about. Basically, they're going to start curving off the top of the slip covers here because a lot of the time with Discotek releases, because a Blu-ray has a curved case, at the top and the bottom, unlike DVDs, it's curved, it's rounded, which means that when the slip cover isn't curved or rounded or cut like this, it means it can crush on the sides, especially when it's wrapped up in the cellophane. It gets slight crushing. A lot of my Discotek DVD Blu-rays haven't really had that problem, but some of them have. It's just one of those things that kind of happens or doesn't. You just, it's a luck of the draw. It's rare that it's ever really, really badly damaged, and it's not something I ever get too upset about. It's just one of those things that just, I deal with it. But they said that for their more premium, collector type shows, the shows that people are really hyped about, the shows that are big titles for Discotek, they're going to start trialing these curved slipcovers, which is what some 4K Blu-rays use. So, like, the spine will be fully covered. Well, no, that's not true. The spine will be covered up over, like, in line with the cover here and a little bit above it, as you can see. So this is where the cover. I can't remember how. I'm talking about the inside wrap. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. So yeah, the inside cover, inside the plastic actual Blu-ray case rather than this slip cover. The spine will be in line with that, and then obviously the bit that goes above, where the plastic, see-through plastic bit on the Blu-ray case is, this will be where the curved bit is. It's fine. It's not something that really bothered me overly much, but it's a different move. It'll look kind of strange at first, and then we'll just get used to it. Like I said, I've got some 4K Blu-ray releases that have this. I think a lot of the Marvel, no, the Star Wars. That was it. The Star Wars 4K releases have this. Like my release of Solo and what was that one called? The Last Jedi, wasn't it? Pretty sure those both have like the curved things. Whatever. So that's the thing they're doing. This is a very quick Loop on the Third update. There wasn't any new Loop on the Third news other than the fact that they didn't talk about this at the last panel. The elusiveness of the fog has been announced for Blu release in May, which obviously I've got on pre-order. So yes, and the TV special from like the mid 2000s, no dub. Really weird. I'm kind of really interested in watching this. I don't know how good it will be. I suspect it'll be middling at most, but it's got time travel in it, like literal time travel, which is kind of interesting. So I'm kind of interested in that one. It should be fun. And then they talked briefly about Return to Paikao. This is the only screenshot that was on their Twitter. There was actually another bit, but just showing like basically there's a lot of work going into Return to Paikao to make it look good because there was a lot of stuff behind, or just with the general video quality that was kind of weird, like lots of different aspect ratios, lots of different compositing with digital effects and stuff, and it's just like the previous Blu-ray or the Japanese Blu-ray kind of looks like garbage. They didn't really put in the time, and Brady Hartel is really putting in the man hours to get this to look as good as it possibly can, and it's upscaled really nicely here. This is the original resolution, and this is what the Blu-ray is, and yeah, like you can, like when you get close to the lines and you can see kind of like, I can't remember the right term, like not necessarily macro blocking, but you can kind of see it around the lines. But it's not a big deal, and from far away it's not going to look too bad. But yeah, you can see a little blurry bits around some of the line detail, but not the end of the world. But yeah, when it looks as good as this, which it really does, it looks pretty clean. It's like not perfect, but it looks pretty darn good. So this trash fire of an OVA for Lupin, it's going to look as good as it can. So at least there's that going for it. Return to Baikal. I'm really not kidding. It's one of the worst fucking Lupin things. Look, it is the worst Lupin thing by a long way. I'm kind of looking forward to watching it again, though, just to revisit just how fucking terrible that thing is. It's a shame it's not getting dubbed. I can see definitely why it's not, but it's a shame. Discotek media titles, streaming stuff, nothing really too important here. Mike Tool, it says it here actually. If you look at those streaming portals carefully, you may even discover a few Discotek titles that have not been released on home video yet. They don't actually talk about them here, which is kind of weird given they literally are on Crunchyroll under the Discotek publishing, but I didn't get pictures for these, but obviously Sayuki Reload, And I think Gunlock as well have been licensed for streaming, at least Reload, which is a sequel, obviously, to the original Sayuki series. Those are potentially look like they're going to be coming out from Discotek in the future, which is kind of cool because in America, Reload and Gunlock, again, I'm not 100% sure they've got Gunlock. I assume they will eventually if they get Reload or whatever. But anyway, yeah, those have never got compact DVD releases or Blu-ray releases of any kind. Obviously, in America, they only got art box releases from Genion, I believe. Sayuki, the original series was done by ADV, and then the other two were done by Genion. I think with different dub casts. I might be wrong about that. I didn't like the original Sayuki. It's one of those series I really wanted to enjoy, but I didn't like it very much. And I've given Sayuki a lot of time in my life. I might give it some more. I might try. I know it's like a kind of like more aimed towards fangirl type stuff, but I don't know. Like I feel like I really should like that series. I just don't. But I'd like to give it another try, although I've already given it plenty over the years. Anyway, Kakaishi is coming from Discotek. This is the streaming announcement. Returns to streaming video courtesy of Discotek. As it says, home video, good question. We may have news on that later. Seems pretty definitive that if they can, they will, obviously. So you should probably expect that in the future. And I did not know, by the way, but this series was. I knew it was out of print, or I expected it to be, because it came out a long time ago. I do have these DVDs here. These are the 4 DVDs with dubs that Viz Media did. What I wasn't aware of is that while you can find the first two relatively easily, apparently set 3 and set 4 are really hard to find, especially set 4, which can mean this happens sometimes. What the frick? $300? What the hell? Like that's insane money. That is insane money. It was really surprising. Like I man, I always hate seeing stuff like this though because it like even though I own these, it just gets me in a panic about the stuff I don't own yet and like have I like missed my chance to get something because now it goes for absolutely insane money. But as Discotek are proving, if you wait long enough, you don't have to spend $300. You might get the chance to get the series for a lot less. So, okay, we really need to rush through the rest of this because there's not a lot of actual. There's only two announcements left. So, Versailles movies are on Crunchyroll and SD. Obviously, they're coming to Blu-ray. The only reason I really wanted to mention this, although it doesn't seem like it's actually mentioned here, but seems like they're going to start coming. Only You seems like it's going to be coming out in the summer, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. And that'll be the first one. Obviously, I'm looking forward to getting all of these and hopefully get the TV series. That was one of the things that some people were predicting for the Megaton announcement. I think it will happen, assuming the movies do really well, and I think they will. I think Discotek will definitely, have they look like they have the intention of probably doing Urusei Yatsura TV on Blu-ray, and yeah, I just didn't expect it now. I think it will happen, but there's no way that I expected them to announce it now, and they didn't because they're working on the movies now, and they'll potentially, hopefully, do the TV series after the movies. Anyway, our current and upcoming releases. We've got February, which we've already had. I've obviously got Lupin the Third, The Columbus Files, and I gifted Miss Machiko to Rocco Tachi for Christmas, a belated Christmas present. I want to get Miss Machiko myself, and Acro Bunch. March 21, I've got Hajime no Ippo on pre-order. I've got Missed by $1 on pre-order, and I've got Submarine Super 99 on pre-order. I don't know if I'm going to get Cyber City or Wado. Obviously, the upscale for that is a bit of a trash fire thing from Anime Limited. I might end up getting it for like some of the extras later on, but I decided not to pre-order. And the Woman Called Fuchuko Mine I will buy eventually, but obviously I do already have it via the Funimation Limited Edition, but I will get this version eventually as well, but not straight away. April 2021, Scried Saint Seiya Classic Movie Collection on Blu-ray. That was a really cool reveal. They're giving Saint Seiya kind of like one more chance. So if you ever want anything more Saint Seiya from Discotek, go out and buy this Blu-ray. It's all 4 movies. in one set this time rather than divided between two sets, and it's on Blu-ray and proper HD. The TV series of Saint Seiya in Japan was upscaled, unfortunately, but the movies did get proper HD scans, and yeah, they look pretty nice. And yeah, so Saint Seiya Classic Movie Collection, really cheap. This thing's like $16. You have to pre-order this. It's 100% worth getting. And yeah, so if you ever want more Saint Seiya, make sure you don't wait on this. Pre-order it. It's only $16. Colle Knights, the Japanese version, Rose of Versailles, Collection 1, and Lupin the Third, Elusiveness of the Fog, which I've also pre-ordered. So yeah, I've got Saint Seiya and Lupin the Third special on the way, and Scryed, I'm not sure I'm going to bother with. I have the DVDs. The Blu-ray upscale kind of looks okay, but it does have a bit of the Q-Tech like smeariness going on. Doesn't, maybe not quite as bad as Q-Tech, but it doesn't. It's weird. Scryed looks really weird on Blu-ray because it's one of those ones where it looks really good one moment and kind of doesn't the next. I don't know. I've got it on DVD. I've never watched the DVDs, so I got them in the art box. I'll probably just settle with that. So I'm not pre-ordering it at the very least. And I'll say I might pre-order Rose of Sight. And then May is quite light. Seems like a very light month for Discotek, which is nice for my wallet at least. So Magical Girl Ore, Metabot Season 3, Arion, which I will definitely be pre-ordering, Grimm's Fairy Tales Collection 1. Depending on price, I might actually go for that because it's a light month for Discotek, but I also might not. I might focus on other things, not Discotek, or older Discotek releases instead. And then anyway, and then we've got Kachimashi Girl Meets Girl, so yeah. So that's May. And then we've got the Arion. This is a slipcover, I believe, or at least the cover. Looks really, really cool. This kind of reminds me a lot of the Giant Robo one, but it looks cool anyway. Yeah, just really beautiful artwork. Really looking forward to watching this movie. I wanted to see it for a very long time, and I was very hopeful that Discotek would put it out, and they are putting it out, so that's very cool. And we've got the inside wrap, which looks amazing, and the disc art. So yeah, well, this is like obviously the inside wrap. If you get my meaning, this is what it will look like behind the disc on the inside of the case. I'll probably end up flipping this round if the slipcover is the same as this bit underneath. Anyway, so yeah, coming later this summer, Rose of Versailles Collection 2. So it looks like both parts of Rose of Versailles we should have by September at the latest. Memories is coming in June, obviously. Revenge of Pai Kao we know about. Video Warrior Lazarion. I find it easier to pronounce that if I just sing it like it is in the show. So yeah, and this is the updated cover for that, which looks really, really cool, using the logo that actually Mike Toole made, which was really nice. Nyambo, as we saw earlier, Dear Brother, as we saw earlier, and Black Rock Shooter. Oh yeah, they actually did show like the cover art for Black Rock Shooter. I didn't get that. Oh well, the cover art, like the art for Black Rock Shooter, looks really, really cool. But I obviously forgot to get that. Anyway, and then coming later this summer, Part 2, Future Robot Daltanius, Maharoba, City Hunter 2 Part 1, which I'll also be getting, Grimm's Tales, Fairy Tales Part 2, Urusei Yatsura Only You the movie, so yeah, the first movie coming out in the summer, which is cool, Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple Collection 1, and then another new announcement, Michiri Neko, which I actually watched this show while it aired, so yeah. Michiri Neko is coming to Blu-ray. This aired, I think, at the same time as Attack on Titan Season 2, I think. Or maybe Season 3 Part 1. I think it was Season 2. Maybe. But regardless, it was on at the same time as like Killing Bites and all that. And what was it, Hachime and Mikochi. This was just another show. It was like, I'm just going to watch this weekly because it's like 3 minutes an episode, if that, or something. So yeah, this is another one of those absurd, surreal cartoon cat programs for children. If you are wondering if Discotek are trying to corner the market on weird, subversive, cute cat anime, the answer is yes. Which is kind of funny. And you know, it's always funny enough to make me want to support them in their crazy venture of doing this. I know there's that Donut Cat show as well. And there's quite a few like cute cat shows, and I mean this show was kind of fine. It was like totally forgettable, but fine, I guess. Like I don't know, like the price is really the problem for me. Like it's fine, but is it 13, £15? Like, 12 to $18 fine? I don't know. But yeah. Other details that are to be announced. Subtitle only, no dub for this one. Anyway, and then we have, as you've probably the eagle-eyed among you can see, my biggest announcement of the whole thing, I guess. I mean, the Project Echo update was amazing, but in terms of new stuff, I value this one more than Dear Brother. Um, Even though it's not a cell animated anime or anything, because Discotek are going to give us Sergeant Frog, and they're not just going to give us Sergeant Frog, they're going to give us freaking all of it. Holy crap! I never thought this day would come. I really didn't. So yeah, wait a minute. Are you sure that's 358 episodes? That's crazy. I hope they do the movies as well. There's 4 movies. There's also a side spin-off series they did a couple of years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago or something. But anyway, look forward to those potentially in the future. But yeah, that's more episodes of Friends, which ran on television for 10 years. Yes, all of Sergeant Frog is coming to video. So yeah, when they say that, it makes me wonder, like, are they actually going to do the other stuff? At least the movies, anyway. Hopefully they will. I don't see why they wouldn't if you've already put in the effort for 358 episodes. Holy hell! And not only that, details are to be announced, but this will release later in 2021. At least the first part, I assume it will be multiple parts. It's freaking 358 episodes. So I'm guessing that this is going to be like oh my god, what's the name of the other series? The one that goes with like R that they did about the mafia little show. I can't remember what it's freaking called. I completely forgot. It'll be on the screen after I've edited this because I can't remember it for the life of me right now. But they did like standard definition Blu-ray releases of those. They did 100 episodes a set. So I could like there's 4 frogs really, or 5? No, there's 5. Yeah, there's 5 frogs. So they could do 5 sets, but that might be too many. I don't know, like 5. If they did like 50 episodes, yeah, 5 doesn't get you near enough. 75 episodes would get you 3. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they could do 5 sets, 75 episodes a set. So you'd have, green one, 75, blue one, 75. I guess it's still 150, double that, 300. And then the last set being 58 episodes rather than 75. That'd be a nice way to split it up, and you could have each set themed around each frog, which would be kind of cool. So yeah, like I'd be willing to pay more if that means I get each set themed around each frog. So yeah, I couldn't find the DVDs that I have. I have the part releases, so 2 parts of this, 2 part, 2 part. But these are the season sets that Funimation did. Obviously, they did 78 episodes with their absolutely sublime English dub. This is the one thing about Sergeant Frog. It's the one thing that's sort of. I'm very excited on the prospect of owning this entire series. I've wanted to see it for a long time, all the way through. But the Funimation dub isn't 100%. I can't remember the right term right now, but like accurate to the Japanese version. I know there's a better term. It's not in my head right now. Yeah, like Sergeant Frog, they changed it. They changed some of the jokes. Like it's not dramatic. It's not Ghost Stories changes or anything like that. It's just that they changed some of the jokes. They made it more funny for English-speaking audiences, and they changed it. Like there's a lot of references in it. Again, it's not like Crayon Shin-chan either. They didn't change it to that extent, but it is different. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Discotek will do a straight translation of the rest of the series in Japanese. Obviously, 78 episodes is nowhere near the full 358, which, man, oh my god, if only Funimation had managed to do 358 dubbed episodes of their dub of this show. I adore their dub of this show. It's so good. But yeah, but there is another interesting aspect to this. So yeah, in Southern Asia, you get English dubs on Animax, and there's some pretty famous ones. Some are better than others, for sure. Like some of them are really bad, some of them aren't. Like some of the more famous ones are Rurouni Kenshin, which is dubbed twice entirely, once by Media Blasters, once in by Animax. Another series that has an Animax dub, which is really, really good, uses a lot of American voice actors, so it's like a proper dub. Is Nadame Cantabile is how I always say it. I know the last word, that's not how you pronounce it, but whatever. That series got a dub, and that series is still not licensed. That needs to happen one day for sure. But yeah, so Sergeant Frog also got a dub in Animax land, like Southern Asia. I don't know if it was a full dub, but I know a lot more of it got dubbed into English, like up into like at the very least, like the high 100, like 190 sort of range. I know that I'm pretty darn sure like there are episodes in that range. Again, I don't know if all of it got dubbed, and the dub isn't in the same vein as the Funimation one. It's a more straight dub. That's what I was looking for. That was the word I was looking for earlier. For some reason, I couldn't remember. But yeah, more straight version, more honest or whatever. No, that's not the right word. Whatever. More accurate, whatever, to the Japanese version, their dub. But yeah, the Funimation dub will be included. If the Animax version will be, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure if given the way that obviously Discotek go about their dubbing stuff, if they can get it, I'm pretty sure they will include it. So yeah, the license announcement checklist: Dear Brother, Kashimashi Girl Meets Girl, Nyambo, Magical Girl Ore, Kakashi Streaming, Micheli Neko, Sergeant Frog, and of course Project Aiko. That's all for license announcements. That was all that panel was. It was cool. Not like the most earth-shattering one in some aspects, but also quite earth-shattering in others. It was alright. It was only an hour long. I wish it wasn't on in the freaking middle of the night, Discotek. You're killing me, honestly. This thing was on at 2 a.m. here in the UK. Thankfully, it only went till 3 a.m. unlike the previous ones where they ran till nearly 2 hours. But man, I wish they just had it on a little bit earlier. Like put it on a Sunday afternoon. In America, surely there's enough people on the Pacific Coast on a Sunday afternoon who aren't working that could watch it, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the afternoon instead. And then people in the UK and like Australia, I'm pretty sure it would work out that, Australia could have it on in the morning relatively, maybe a little bit early in the morning, but still not like middle of the night maybe. And then people in the UK and Europe would get it around midnight or something, 10 o'clock, midnight, somewhere in that sort of range. That'd be nice. But whatever. Discotek obviously an American company, so it's one of those things we have to deal with. Anyway, so yeah, I'm Blaze. Thanks for watching. I'm sure this video has ended up being almost twice as long as I expected. I wanted it to be under an hour. I know it's not going to be, and I think that's an atrocious use of your time, and I apologize. But yeah. I'm Blaze, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll be doing some more pickup videos soon. I've got so much Discotek stuff I haven't shown you. So much. I have probably about 150 DVD and Blu-ray releases from the last like year and a half that I've not ever shown you. Like probably 2 years actually, but I've not shown you. So that's not just Discotek stuff, that's like Funimation and every other company under the sun. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I've not got around to showing, which I hope to do eventually. But yeah, I'm Blaze, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.